In today's ugly news, K-beauty really is going mainstream, like mainstream. And beauty laws are about to hit Gen Alpha pretty hard. But first of all, Unilever is set to make a big purchase very soon when they buy Wild. You know Wild? You've probably seen like a shit ton of adverts for them over YouTube, Instagram, and they're like this cool, eco-friendly deodorant brand. And Unilever are looking to purchase Wild for roughly 230 million. Now, Wild is only 6 years old, I believe, and was founded by Charlie Bowes Lyon and Freddie Ward, and focused on refillable, plastic-free personal care products. Now, this deal is one of Unilever's biggest in the personal care world in recent years. And Unilever are known for like owning Dove or Lynx or Axe as it's called in other places around the world. And they seem to really want to get Wild in like an attempt to boost its sustainability credentials, which is going to be a tough job. CEO Heinz Schumacher is desperately wanting a major revamp of Unilever's brand lineups, basically. And they think Wild's premium, eco-friendly approach is kind of going to be perfect for this new lineup, and it's going to kind of make people look at Unilever like a bit more like eco-friendly. Now, Wild's popularity has grown massively. In 2023, they made 470 million, whilst getting 10 million from investors. Now, we've discussed this before, but usually when brands get bought by a big company, a big conglomerate like Unilever, L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, brands tend to go to shit. Well, more so the ethics that the brand was originally built upon, right? And this is some people's concern when it comes to Wild deodorant. Some people are worried that once a giant like Unilever takes over, Wild's pretty unique ethical vibe that they worked so hard to create and their eco-friendly values might get watered down a fair bit. And knowing Unilever's track record, I think that too. The people who think this are also arguing that often big companies had different priorities. Mass production and profit, for example, seem to be the only two, which is definitely going to crash with the brand's grassroots commitments to sustainability, which again, Unilever aren't known for. And there's this fear that the brand's authentic, eco-conscious identity could be compromised in the process, or that it might even end up being just used as mainly like a marketing tool for Unilever's green credentials, rather than truly driving environmental change. Greenwashing, again, something Unilever are very well known for. But others are saying that this might just be an opportunity for Wild to be exposed for what they really are. In the words of @ToxicMillennial, that's her username, I'm not calling her that, she calls Wild the fast fashion of sustainable deodorant. The self-claimed eco-Karen argues that Wild has always been problematic in a way. The constant release of limited edition packaging and scents, making the consumers feel that they need to buy more things, right? They need every flavor, every smell, every bit of packaging that these Wild deodorants come in turn creating more waste and a carbon footprint, whilst inflating the value of the business. She mentions that whilst the reusability of the Wild deodorant probably isn't going to be the thing that changes that much, because that's their thing, right? That's what they do. If wider ethical practices are your concern, including the countless ethical concerns that people have with Unilever, then you may want to rethink buying Wild. Let's remember that it was only very recently that Dove, under the ownership of Unilever, was called out for their plastic sachet pollution, palm oil sourcing, and overall greenwashing claims. It's the age-old tale, isn't it? These cruelty-free or ethical, sustainable brands get bought out by a big conglomerate and they can no longer technically be called cruelty-free or sustainable because of the business who owns them and their practices. Less Waste Laura says on Instagram that if this is going to be an issue for you, then you should check out brands like Salt of the Earth, Aran Scents of Scotland, and Get Fussy. But what do? Do we support brands like this and show the bigger conglomerates who own them that these are the type of brands we want? We want brands who are eco-friendly, reusable, focus on sustainability, etc. Or do we boycott these brands altogether and be like, no, you sold your soul to the devil essentially for money, and now we won't have anything to do with you? Or does it even matter? I mean, these massive conglomerates like Unilever, L'Oreal, just go for wherever the money is. Either way, they'll just do whatever works for them, right? And gets them the money. Speaking of which, another day, another lawsuit for L'Oreal. Are they not tired? It's like they have a team, like a legal team who don't have anything to do, so they're like, do you want like another lawsuit? A salon owner here in the UK who's been battling L'Oreal for what feels like forever now says her fight is far from over and it's been costing her a lot of money. Rebecca Dowdeswell from Radcliffe launched her waxing business now back in 2009, and over the years she ran 2 salons, one in Nottingham and another one in Leicester, whilst also being a mother of 2. All was going great until September of 2022, when L'Oreal swooped in with a legal challenge over her trademark. So L'Oreal's brand Urban Decay, as we all know, has an eyeshadow palette called Naked. The Naked palettes, right? Used to be an icon. I don't know if people use them anymore. And L'Oreal claims that Rebecca's use of NKD, which is the name of her salon, meaning naked, could confuse consumers. Now, despite being initially told that sorting out the trademark issue would be dead easy, Rebecca's legal battle has dragged on for nearly over 2 years now and is expected to go on for longer. Rebecca and her lawyer are even worried that this whole thing might stretch until 2027. Expressing her frustration, Rebecca says, "I feel an overwhelming frustration. I don't think I should have been put in this situation in the first place. L'Oreal could do the right thing and choose to put an end to this." Why am I reading this so weird? "This is perfectly within their power. This battle has caused me a huge amount of unnecessary trauma and financial despair." She was advised to simply say she has no interest in makeup or eyeshadow palettes, no crossover whatsoever. That's what they claimed, but here she is, caught in a fight with one of the biggest companies in the world. Now, it's already cost her over £30,000 in legal fees, and the stress was just too much for her to bear. So she ended up having to close her Nottingham salon in December of 2023. She said, "My once thriving, award-winning Nottingham waxing salon is now closed. L'Oreal is one of the biggest companies in the world. 30,000 is absolutely nothing to them." I 100% agree. For Rebecca, this is a classic case of like the legal David and Goliath, right? David versus Goliath. Horrible, exhausting, really stressful, and really fucking expensive. When she first got hit with the trademark issue, Rebecca was left with 2 choices, both as bad as the other: rebrand her entire business at the cost of tens of thousands of pounds, or fight back in court. She says, "I was put in an impossible situation. Neither of these options was something I would have chosen. Even if I won, I won't recover any of the legal costs. I've sunk into this mess." But Rebecca is even taking a stand beyond her own brand and beyond her own case. She's spoken with her local MP about starting a petition to protect small businesses from these David versus Goliath trademark battles. Meanwhile, a L'Oreal spokesperson insists, "We are wholly committed to resolving any misunderstanding there might have been with Rebecca Dowdeswell. From the beginning of our exchanges with her lawyers in 2022, we have communicated an offer that supports her business aspirations whilst respecting our long-standing trademark rights. We look forward to resolving this matter in a mutually agreeable way." So here we are. Right, a determined small town salon owner fighting for the brand she has spent over 16 years building, trying to compete against a beauty giant, multinational beauty giant worth over 150 billion. I get it, right? A trademark is a trademark, but it's the word naked. Like, who cares? No one's gonna come across this like local salon and be like, "Wait, is this a shop or an eyeshadow palette owned by L'Oreal? I'm confused." No one's gonna be doing that. Like, there's other things called naked. This is a waste of money and a waste of everyone's time. Wouldn't expect any less from L'Oreal though. Oh my God, it's happening. It's actually happening. People who look under the age of 18 will be required to show ID when buying products considered anti-aging. That's the latest update actually in California, where Assembly member Alex Lee has introduced a bill that would stop the sale of anti-aging products containing potent and harsh ingredients like retinol, glycolic acid, and vitamin C to anyone under the age of 18. So it's really targeting a specific group of actives, not sure on the exact ones just yet, concentrations, percentages, etc. Lee's argument is simple: kids do not need products to fight wrinkles. And I agree, but I have some thoughts. Lee says the beauty industry knows this. The beauty industry knows these kids don't need their products. And while some companies claim they care, their actions are more about show than real responsibility. This isn't the first time Lee has tried to tackle this issue. A previous version of the bill even proposed that kids under 13 should flash some form of ID before buying skincare, but that version didn't pass. Alex Lee actually discusses this on Instagram, and whilst there is some slight misleading language surrounding the EU limitations on retinol percentages and the link between weakened bones, which has nothing to do with its use in skincare, I 100% agree with him, and part of me likes this bill, and I think we can agree that this is only a good thing. It's a step in the right direction, right? Kids don't need these products. It seems like the conversation around Gen Alpha and their growing fascination with beauty is only heating up really. I thought we were done with Sephora kids, but it's happening again, more and more so, because it's so closely linked to social media, which is now such a permanent fixture in their lives. Actually, I think I mentioned this before, but back in November 2024, Connecticut's Attorney General William Tong warned parents to keep an eye on social media as targeting young kids, launching an inquiry into Sephora's promotions to figure out which products are truly meant for teens. And when you have a quick peek at Sephora's website back then, it shows a couple of kids products like a face mist from Glow recipe and mini versions of Drunk Elephant's vitamin C and glycolic acid serums. Not for kids. Meanwhile, other brands are just trying to completely dodge this whole thing. Last year, Kiehl's kicked off an actually very nice campaign reassuring parents that their products aren't for Gen Alpha, and Swedish label Mantle now ask shoppers to verify their age before browsing online. However, the proposed bill still needs to go through several other committees, but if it passes, it could be signed into law by October, with the new rules taking effect in 2026. I have opinions. I preface this by saying it's definitely a step in the right direction. It's important to note, however, that some of these ingredients can be beneficial for preteens and teens, and the ingredients and their benefits go beyond just anti-aging, right? Retinol, for example, is used in anti-acne products that are usually given by dermatologists or doctors, but not everybody has access to those people. And a very small percentage of retinol, even ingredients like salicylic acid and glycolic acid, are great for breakouts, excessive oiliness, sebum production, blackheads, whiteheads. All these ingredients can benefit pubescent skin, not just people over the age of 18. So I think there's a few more things to consider. I think there's a whole lot more nuance here. It's verging on the kind of anti-science perspective for me of, chemicals are harmful, kids shouldn't be allowed harmful things, without considering what might actually be beneficial in certain doses. So I think a few things need to be considered. The ingredients, the percentages of those ingredients, what the product claims to do. I think there are certain actives that can be really, really beneficial and should be labeled as so for a particular age group. Back in the day when I had Oxy, Clean and Clear, St. Ives, I would have killed for some of the products and ingredients that are mainstream today. They would have saved me a lot of self-consciousness, a lot of skin damage, and now it sounds like they could be banned for a group of people who could really benefit from some of them. I think this is best at protecting the youngest of Gen Alpha who really do not need anything, but some teens can benefit from these ingredients in the right concentrations, with the correct instructions and the right guidance, right? Of course, parents can go out and buy these for their kids, but there's just so much more nuance than this bill seems to consider, in my opinion. But overall, yes, protect these tweens' skin at all costs. Should we do some good news, some interesting news? This was interesting, but K-beauty lovers, big news for you if you live in LA. Olive Young, aka the holy grail of K-beauty, is officially landing in the US. Fuck Sephora. No, still shop where you like. But they're going to set up shop in LA, and honestly, this is huge for anyone obsessed with K-beauty. If you've ever been to Korea, or if you've ever seen people go to Korea, you know Olive Young is the place to stock up on all things skincare, makeup, the latest beauty trends, tools, supplements, drinks, everything. But it's not just a random move, however. The US is, of course, the world's biggest beauty market, worth $120 billion. That's back in 2023. And K-beauty exports have been growing over 20% every year since 2020, and is only growing bigger with the reboom of K-beauty's popularity over on TikTok. So Olive Young are planning to open an actual physical store, whilst also improving their online shopping experience for US customers. Better paying options, faster shipping, none of that, like shipping tax? What's it called again? Customs tax? Now, one thing I'm not too sure about is Olive Young will be analyzing US shopping trends to stock more products to be catered to the US, which I kind of wish they wouldn't do. People love K-beauty because it offers something different to what the US has to offer, and the US is people's shopping trends. K-beauty fans want to discover what is new, something exciting that they're not used to, and that's why K-beauty is so popular. They don't want products with a US twist to them, or K-beauty that's been remarketed for a US audience. Even though some of those brands are doing pretty well, the whole excitement around Olive Young is, what can I discover that's new? And I hope they keep the deals as well, the things that set Olive Young apart, the freebies, the buy one get one frees, the deals, and it'll be interesting to see how how they're going to work around certain ingredient regulations, like the new rules surrounding Korean sunscreen filters. No K-beauty brands want to be in trouble with the FDA, and some may not even want to test those loopholes, so we'll see how that goes. In a twist that no one saw coming, male police cadets in Japan are now getting schooled in something other than law enforcement, makeup and grooming. I like this story. At the Fukushima Police Academy, about 60 cadets are learning how to perfect their brows, style their hair, and apply skincare like a pro. And the best part is that legendary beauty brand Shiseido is behind the training. I would like to be part of this training, please. So why this sudden focus on beauty? So it's actually all about looking sharp and presentable on the job. Now, according to Takeshi Sugara, the Academy's vice principal, maintaining a neat and professional appearance is actually crucial when you're out there interacting with the public. Takeshi says we want students to remember that as both members of society and future police officers, a proper appearance is key. Essentially saying bad brows and dull skin are not part of the uniform. So what are they actually learning in these classes? Well, the cadets are brushing up on all things like grooming and skincare, a wide range of things, from the simplicities of applying moisturizer to primers to shaping their brows. They also have a hairstyling component as well to make sure that hat hair is going to be like a thing of the past, or helmet hair if they're riding a bike, whatever. And for many of them, this is completely new territory. One cadet admitted that he's never worn makeup before, but he says as a police officer, oh no, I'll be in the public eye and I want to look my best before heading out. And of course, the internet has thoughts on this, making waves on Japanese social media. Some people are here for it, loving the idea of police officers looking fresh and put together, while others are just wondering if this is really necessary for law enforcement to do and whether it's a waste of time. But here's the thing, it's not just about looks, right? As people who are interested in beauty and self-care, we know it's not just about the way you look, it's about professionalism, confidence, and showing up as the best version of yourself. Whether you're like patrolling the streets or giving out a parking ticket, whatever they do. I don't know what police do, that's bad, isn't it? They need to be putting their best foot forward and feeling good too. And more academies are actually joining the trend too, with the Yamaguchi Police Academy jumping on the bandwagon, offering their own grooming classes starting with proper face washing techniques. I think this is a start of a good trend. Nothing quite says serve and protect quite like well-maintained skin and well-shaped eyebrows, alright, and a clean face. Anyway, let me know what you think of these stories in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.